After Doom 3 steered the series a little more toward survival horror, and Doom 4 spent years, fittingly enough, in development hell, 2016's Doom felt a little like a breath of fresh air, and a little like catching lightning in a bottle. It perfectly captured the feeling of old-school Doom games, letting players mow down hundreds of demonic enemies at a time with a massive arsenal of weapons. On March 20th, id Software will follow it up with Doom Eternal, which Gaming Trend recently got the chance to sit down and play. If you want to know whether Doom Eternal is for you, fortunately, there's an easy answer. Did you like Doom 2016? Because when it comes down to it, Doom Eternal is basically more of that, except, at least in the 3 hours I saw, with a lot more variety. The footage you're seeing now comes from the third level of Doom Eternal, the Cultist Base, a snowy fortress unlike anything from Doom 2016. Before reaching this point, Doom Eternal first takes you to a hellish Earth level, completely overrun by demons, a mountaintop castle with its own demonic pest problem, and your ship, which serves as a hub between levels. Doom Eternal's design director Hugo Martin was candid about how the repetition in Doom 2016's level design was one of its biggest weaknesses. It's something he said the team wanted to correct for the follow-up, and if what I saw in the few hours that I got to play is any indication, I think it's fair to say they succeeded. Even the first level, which felt closest to Doom 2016, had more variety in its environment than almost that entire game. While the core of Doom Eternal is still fighting hordes of demons in what are essentially combat arenas, there's a lot more going on between those spaces. Sometimes it is just set dressing, a way of making walking down the hall from one fight to the next more interesting. But if given the choice, would you rather walk down a literal hallway, or power up a deactivated mech to stab a spear through a gigantic dead demon and then dive into its chest cavity? Because that's actually something that happens in the first hour of Doom Eternal. It's a level beyond overkill, fully embracing the metal album art come to life, self-aware schlockiness that's come to define Doom's aesthetic. Even your ship, which at first looks like a fairly generic hub, turns out to be a completely ridiculous flying cathedral packed with hidden rooms. Doom Eternal also expands on its predecessor by adding more emphasis to story and lore, told through burning pages you can find scattered through the world, and characters you actually run across during gameplay, but it's all completely optional if all you want to do is rip and tear. It also doubles down on the wealth of secrets from Doom 2016, with each level absolutely packed with alternate paths and optional challenges. I took my time in the game's first level, exploring as much as I reasonably could and following every path I found, and still ended up with less than 50% completion at the end of the mission. For one quick example, here's an upgrade item you can find early on in the Cultist Base. I tried for a second to find a way up to reach it, before switching to the winning strategy of giving up and walking away, assuming that it's something I would have to come back and unlock later. For comparison, here's how they solved the problem in a video provided by id. Levels in Doom Eternal are just packed with secrets like this, some holding valuable items that will help you play, and others, well, less so. The item in that example before, the Sentinel Battery, is used to power up and unlock different parts of your ship. It's one of many upgrade paths in Doom Eternal. Seriously, there are so many ways to upgrade your character that I just completely forgot some of them existed by the end of my session. As you progress through the game, you'll naturally pick up new abilities and weapons. By the end of my time, I'd unlocked a dash and the area of effect Blood Punch, and picked up the shotgun, autocannon, rocket launcher, plasma rifle, and another shotgun. Plus, a shoulder-mounted flamethrower and 2 types of grenades. Each of your primary weapons also has 2 different mods, which might add things like a grenade launcher or full auto mode for the shotgun, or a precision sight and missile barrage for the autocannon. Each of those mods can also be upgraded to be more effective. Then you have 2 different ways to upgrade your suit, by collecting Sentinel Crystals and Praetor Points. Sentinel Crystals let you upgrade things like your health and ammo capacity, while Praetor Points can give you a wide range of upgrades from reduced environmental damage and enhanced grenades, to quicker traversal and weapon switching, But you should also remember that buying Sentinel Crystal upgrades in a certain order will unlock additional bonuses. The quicker it goes in certain order. Look, it's a lot to keep track of, but it does give you a lot of flexibility in how you build a character to your liking. Plus, it's a great way to reward players who go out of their way to complete optional objectives and hunt down extra challenges. It all pays off when you actually get into... Oh, I forgot about runes. Okay, runes are actually some of the most interesting upgrades, because they unlock unique abilities, like the ability to slow time if you use a weapon's mod in midair, or if you use a weapon that keeps enemies stunned longer so you have more time to others, or let you use... Like I was saying, it's all actually worth the effort when you finally get to use the collection of upgrades you've spent so much time unlocking. Combat in Doom Eternal feels a lot like it did in Doom 2016, which is to say, a frantic, gory, simultaneously stressful and cathartic orgy of violence. You'll spend the whole time swapping weapons, alternating glory kills and chainsaw finishers to fill your health and ammo, while bouncing around the level like a kangaroo on methamphetamines. It can be disorienting and overwhelming at times, and I hit a point where I was completely out of ammo and into the single digits of health in every single fight, often more than once. It can be brutally difficult, both in terms of how much you have to juggle and the sheer strength of the enemies you're facing. That being said, it doesn't feel unfair. While I might not have known where every point of damage I took was coming from, I always know what I could have done better after every fight. The tools are there, you just have to figure out how to use them, and according to Hugo Martin, there are a lot of tools still to find. Likening the game to martial arts, he said that at the end of the 3rd level, you're roughly a blue belt, and you won't have your full set of abilities until the game's 3rd act. Even then, he said, you'll keep seeing new enemy types right up until the game's final level. Given how much I got knocked on my ass in the demo, I'm both excited and terrified to see what the game looks like when you've reached black belt status.